Bralynn, I love, love, love what you do. And it's so needed in the body of Christ because in the old system, it was almost, I don't know that anybody really said it, but I think it was non-verbally communicated that, there's full-time ministry and then there's everybody else.
Oh,
And
yes.
And so it was almost communicated it was less than, and it was, that was by demonic design, right? Because he wants us to not be creating wealth from heaven to earth, right? He wants us to have to depend on the world for provision and all that. I'm sure there's all kind of, demonic entities that are specifically assigned to keep those mindsets and those demonic doctrines in place.
Right.
Because when we know who we are, like you said, and when we have the resources to affect change with the heart of the Father, it changes everything. So that's why I think what you do is so important and so kingdom and so for now. What you're doing, Berlin, and what you're helping me learn to do with my now that I'm looking at it as a business is it's just as supernatural as somebody walking up and giving you a check, because I'm creating from the heavenly realm and making it tangible in the earth, and that is very much a supernatural process, and I'm having to learn to steward that, because there's not as much stewardship when you're sitting on your couch having your, ministering to the Lord, and somebody walks up and hands you a check, as there is, okay, I've got all this revelation from these heavenly classrooms, and you're wanting me to communicate it in a way that people can understand it and then get it out there. It's like there's a learning curve to that, but it's still supernatural. That's
That's
where you come in, because the body needs to understand this, and they need to understand the how-tos of it. It's so important for where we're going. And I think it's a manifestation of the supernatural being natural, but also it's a manifestation of us growing to greater maturity. When you're a baby, the Lord will do more for you. When you're a little more mature, he wants to do it with you. And that's where we co-labor. It's not in my own flesh. I'm not doing all this earthly stuff because I think I'm my own source. I'm learning the mechanics of how to co-create with God from heaven to earth. And that brings in when I do what's on my destiny scroll, and I do it with wisdom, and you're part of the wisdom, the practical wisdom piece. When I do that, it does bring in provision, not just for me, but to finance his kingdom, around the world. So it's huge. I think most of us are aware of, some very high level men and women in society that are really influencing the world in negative ways, and they have the means, the financial means, to be able to do that. They buy politicians, they're
yeah,
buying up land, and they're doing all this stuff that's evil. And how much more should we, the sons of God, be doing
right.
the work of the kingdom
Right.
and manifesting his heart?
Oh, this is
I
so
believe
good.
that
We
you
could,
give us as much as we're able to steward. And what you do, that the practical, tangible how-tos, I love how you make it so practical, but it's so heavenly, and you're always, redirecting, because our ecclesia has done a couple sessions with you, and you're always redirecting us. What's on your scroll? What's the Lord saying? But then there's the practical grounding it out too. And I love that. And it's so needed.
all
I
right.
believe in you. I think what you're doing is so for such a time as this.